Prejudice towards disability is very rarely spoken of.
This kind of whisper of, it would have been better if you were able-bodied, or it would have been better if you weren't here at all.
Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Nongov Media. If you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn on post notification. And don't forget to like this video. It really helps with the algorithm. And my channel is still very small. Please help me grow. At first, I didn't want to do that intro because I felt like what I'm about to talk about is too emotional and too serious for me to even have the YouTube intro. But I'm going to just start off with a quote by Carrie Burnell, and this was gotten off the BBC documentary titled The Hidden Story of Disabled People in Britain. Prejudice towards disability is very rarely spoken of. This kind of whisper of, it would have been better off if you were able-bodied. It would have been better if you weren't here at all. I reside in Nigeria, Oyo State, Ibadan, to be precise. And there was this day I went out in the evening when I had just gotten my drone for the first time, sometime in December. I was new to flying drones, and after watching a few YouTube videos, I decided to step out that evening to, go test out my new drone and try to find out some of the features it has and all of that. And upon getting to the place where I was going to test my drone, I noticed something remarkable. I saw some disabled young men who were on what seemed to be like, like this roller boards of some sort, and they were playing football, except that they didn't have legs. It was completely amazing. And watching them play football without legs, and everyone that passes by would just laugh and throw this awful look at them like, what are you doing? Hey, stop that. That thing looks disgusting. And it sort of reminds me of how society is. People with disabilities they're just like every other person, except that they are with disabilities. And the fact that society has not fully accepted them to be normal people, to be part of us is really, really appalling. These young men who were playing this football, I'm going to give you a bit of context so you understand why I found it really amazing. Now, for those of you who don't know, Nigeria has a population of over 200 million people with an ethnic scattered around over 200 different ethnic groups, predominantly consisting of 3 ethnic groups, that is the Hausa, the Igbo, and the Yoruba. The Hausas are found to be in the far north, and they are oftentimes labeled, or should I say stereotyped, as the retrograde, the backward, the uneducated, the they are the deserted people of society. The North is generally known as the forgotten lands, the place of waste. And if you'd ask an average Nigerian, the poorest parts of Nigeria, they would probably mention, not probably, they would tell you that the North. Now, these are young people, these disabled people that I saw playing football. They are all from the North, all uneducated. We're not going to talk about the stereotypes of being, we're not going to talk about stereotypes today, but now, I could only imagine their pain, because a people who have been labeled by such negative stereotypes, not that they are positive stereotypes anyway, but a people who have been labeled by such, they've been weighed down, heavily laden by such stereotypes as that, and now have to live with disability. And in the midst of it all, right at the center of the backlash and the, societal rejection, they were still able to find out time to come have fun, just like every other person. And for me, it's a wake-up call. Whether we like it or not, every one of us is guilty of looking down on some disabled person in one way or the other. And having to make this video sort of reminds me that people with disability are just like any other person, and they have the ability to do whatever it is they wish to do, and they can live a normal life if we allow them to. Yes, if we allow them to. Sometimes you go to public places, and let's say banks, for example, and you try to go through the bank door, and the bank door tells you, ting, 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 metal detected, you can't come in. And sometimes, and then I wonder, what would the man on the wheelchair do? Is he not allowed to carry out banking transactions? And there's no system in place to actually check these things and make sure society becomes all inclusive. I saw the story of a young woman who became deaf. She became deaf sometime in her 20s. And her story was particularly touching for me, because even though she was deaf, she tried as much as she could not to let anyone know or even have to announce her condition to anybody. She sort of communicates by reading lips. Whenever you are talking to her, she picks up what you are saying by reading your lips and sort of decodes everything, and then carries out the action as the conversation dictates. Now, I was imagining what this girl passes through, especially with the pandemic now, that she can barely read lips, because that's the only way for her to understand what people are saying. She can't read lips again because most people are covered up with masks and all of that, and life is especially difficult for her. But away from that, she doesn't have a car. Now, I tried to put myself in her shoes for a week. I tried to, stop communicating with words and try as much as I could to read people's lips. And I ordered the ride on Uber. And as I ordered the ride on Uber, I texted the driver, telling the driver that I am at this location and the driver should come pick me up. And the driver didn't reply the text and tried to call back. And it went on. And I said I wasn't going to pick this call because I am pretending to be this young lady now, and I'm trying to live my life just as she would do it. And it just so happened that the driver was not going to respond to my text messages. I tried ordering food, and all the customer service attendants, they all wouldn't answer me via text. They all wanted to call, and if you don't call, then you are considered to be unserious, or maybe you are not really that, you are just there to play around with them and you don't really want to purchase from them. A big shout out to Instagram, who recently introduced the auto-generated captions, and it's a very, very big innovation, because now people living with disabilities, particularly people who are maybe who have hearing impairments, they can now enjoy content on Instagram without having to feel any less human. We all need to work harder and work more on how we treat people with disabilities. They are just like every other person, and I don't know, for me, my whole mindset has been shifted from looking at them as people who need who need to be pitied to people who actually are just like any other person and just need all the support that you can render. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I wish I could say more, but we're trying to keep it short. You know, it's YouTube now, we can't go all out on here. But if you like, there's anything you like me to expatiate more on to talk about, I'm going to also do that. Oh, and by the way, on this particular day, I never planned to shoot this video. I never planned that I was going to have this shoot. I was just out testing my drone, and the only thing I had on me that day was my drone and my phone, which is the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, and I ended up filming all of this on just my phone and the drone. And you know, at some point the phone battery was down, so I had to hold the drone, and when the drone battery became too low for me to fly, I had to hold the drone, and I was getting my shots by, you know, maneuvering around them, and that was it. And it was really a fun thing for me. And I think I should make a video on how to film with whatever it is you have, because as storytellers, you never can tell where the story would meet you. You might be out there on the street and the only thing you have with you is your phone, and some very important story comes by and you just have to tell it. And that way it will be really helpful if you knew how to, you know, make the best out of what you have with you at the moment. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it very informative, and it's a wake-up call. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the turn on post notification. See you on the next video. Thank you. Bye.